Hello one, hello all, welcome to this edition of the list, 40 to 21. I had a look at this before I started getting prepared, and we're gonna start off with a bang. Number 40, here it comes. I can hear you sighing and throwing things and whatever at the screen. I quite enjoyed the movie Unfriended Dark Web. Perhaps the fact that I've only seen it once plays into something. The ending that I got was the better of the two. I don't know how I do my list on Letterboxd might play into it. Like, it's a simple, when I enter a movie, I get to the one lowest two that I go, do I prefer this or this? And it's kind of a thing. And I guess through that process, Unfriended just kept winning. It's strange. You ask me now, would I rather watch Unfriended or Bird Box again? And I'd probably rather watch Bird Box again. But it's here on my list. So my thought process throughout the year was, yep, this is where I prefer this. I prefer Unfriended. For what it is, I was perfectly fine with it. I don't know how it got this high. I need to watch it again. I think there's some that are in the 70s that I looked at. I'm like, wait a minute, why? I can't properly defend why this movie is this high. Maybe because I heard other people got a shittier ending, and I was like, well, oh, all right, well, good. I'm such a fan of Clue. I just mark out for anything that's Clue-ish. I don't know. It's 40. I know. Did I think it was a better film than Bohemian Rhapsody? No. Would I rather watch it again than Bohemian Rhapsody? Probably. I have nothing else. I have no other defense at this point. 39 is The Rachel Divide, which is about Rachel Dolezal, whatever the fuck, the NAACP head who actually ended up being white but identifies as black. Interesting documentary, if only because they get you asking questions and debating internally what is the right thing. At what stage do you put a damper on what people can identify as? And I appreciated it. It got my mind brewing, and if only for that, I appreciated what this documentary was about. I still can't tell you what if somebody this is about movies, not real life shit. So let's just keep going. Oh, Michael Moore. It's no Fahrenheit 9/11. That's for certain. You would think with Trump as president, Michael Moore would have really low-hanging fruit to fucking swat away, but he's done better. That's for sure. He's done worse. That's for sure as well. I think because of my comedic background and just having an overload of Trump information and news, and just constant nightly comedic things to go over. A film that's takes a couple months to edit. It's old news, and if this president, you gotta, if you're gonna be snarky, you gotta be on your toes and current. But the movie is what it is. Number 37, Sicario, Day of the Skedaddle, Day of the Sicario. Day of the Sicario, yeah, that's better. Day of the Soldado. Another movie that if you're watching this when I'm putting it up, kind of in the news lately, nice segue from Trump. A lot of the things that happen in the movie have been in the news. Nowhere near as, like, the trailer. I remember seeing the trailer, I would assume this time last year, around January of 18, and thinking, oh, what's up? This is going to be awesome. Benicio del Toro is going to be a badass, and it kind of wasn't that. Good movie. Impossible to live up to the first one, and for that, I don't know. Maybe it should be higher, but again, expectations and my experiences play into how I rank things. Just take a Unfriended Dark Web. Do I think that's a better movie than at least 10 movies below it? No. But for some reason, it's at 40 for me, and when I figure it out, I'll get to you. Uh-oh, Black Panther. You could take into consideration the fact that I don't really like superhero movies and kind of tired of them, and this felt formulaic. You could take that into account. You could take into account the fact that everybody's fucking rah-rah about this movie. It's good. Best Picture of the Year good? Nope. Thank you. Number 35, Love, Simon. What's funny about this is if the love interest were a female, I would call this boring. A nice little change of pace, gay rom-com, teenage rom-com, where they kind of have you guessing who the love interest is, because it's a kid who isn't out in high school, and the gripes that I have against this movie, it's a really good movie. It's just the gripes that I have are it was a little too soft. Same gripes with Bohemian Rhapsody. A little too soft. If you're gonna have a guy who's struggling to come out in high school, show us some of the struggles. Show us exactly how difficult it is, because you're not doing people favors if you're. I mean, granted, this may not be a social message movie, but it, you know, you could do a little extra and show just what type of difficulties one may encounter in high school, hiding such a life-changing secret. It's 35. It's a minor gripe, but you know, whatever. 34. Oh, Solo. I've seen this. I recently just saw this. I was in Denmark with Dennis. One of the 2 hours that I was awake, rewatched Solo. You get further away from the hype and all the chaos. It's a decent time. I'd actually probably put it higher if I was considering the second watch, the 2019 watch. But you take all the pressure off. It's a fun action movie. Fun, but yeah, my Star Wars soaked brain when I ranked this was just like, all right, it's time to finally pump the brakes. We're a little too much, but now that I've sat on it for 8 months, I'd go back and probably raise it a couple of spots, and again, I'd probably lower Unfriended. But this is, I'm not altering the list. This is how it was. You know, again, superhero movies, I'm just kind of done with, or tired of. I want to see something fresh, something different, and it's a good time. The first one's certainly better. I prefer this over Black Panther for a number of reasons. It was fun. It wasn't so fucking just so heavy on the saving the world and how important the blah 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 blah. Just the isolated smallness of it. Excuse the pun. The fact that it was just a little thing. The world wasn't in danger. An entire fucking country didn't need Ant-Man. It was just shit happening in San Francisco. Nice, thank you. Another movie I've only seen once, and this was in my top 10 at one point. Well, I think the reason it was in my top 10 because at a certain point when I saw this, it was one of 15 movies. So it's fallen a bit, but I can't. There are scenes in this movie. The Shining scene alone, spoiler, had me just geeking out. This is a movie that, like, it's a young adult story. Un-Spielbergian when there's fights and anything that's going on with this, like all CGI shots, but there were Spielbergian moments like in the van in the third act, that it felt a little Spielbergy. Fun time. If you want to go Easter egg hunting, there's a chore in itself. Good luck on your 70 views trying to find everything in this movie. Or you could just go click on a clickbaity ending explained fucking what you missed in Ready Player One video, because those are a big deal, huh? No, Spielberg flirting with Spielberg, but not quite old school Spielberg. 31, and perhaps my like biggest shock of the year was Den of Thieves. Again, consider I didn't have much expectation for it. Saw it at home, and holy shit, this was a movie that like I threw on just, all right, here's a 2018 release to throw on the list, thinking it would be in like the bottom 20. Nothing about the trailer, nothing about any of this movie said anything to me that I would consider appealing. Right off the bat, it's a watered down Heat remake or a Heat homage fest. But I had a hell of a time with this movie. I quite enjoyed it. Go check it out. If you like heist movies, this is it's a decent time. It is quite a decent time. No expectations that you'll enjoy it more. Number 30, Summer of '84. Really good movie in the Disturbia Rear Window vein. Fucking Stranger Things you get that little 80s mix into it because it's Summer of '84. I think this is 4 stars. From here out, these are movies that I think I have at about 4 stars. Without ruining much, it's, you know, if you like a Stranger Things 80s type feel and you're a big fan of Rear Window type movies, this is that. This is Stranger Things in a Rear Window universe. Done well. Independent, little independent that could. 29, Super Troopers 2. I quite am a fan of Broken Lizard. Full disclosure, I contributed money to this project. So yeah, I was fully on board with it from inception. So take that with a fucking boulder of salt. Yeah, I wanted to like it and did. And paid way too much more money than a regular movie ticket to see it. So, there.
Will I like it? It's more like, will I tolerate it?
Oh, shit,
This is, again, we're about 4 stars. So, for those who think I hate this movie, I don't. I have nitpicky things that I don't like. Again, another movie I've only watched once. And the Friday the 13th fan in me is quite jacked up that this succeeded because it was everything anybody else needed it to be too. If you're a Nightmare on Elm Street guy, a Friday the 13th guy, Child's Play getting a theatrical release. Other than two things, and name me a slasher film where you don't have gripes. I have 2 gripes about this movie so far, but otherwise it was good. It was quite good. The cinematography is good, not better than Mandy. Judy Greer, as a whole in 2018 had me scratching my head. I don't know if she had a cringy line quota to fill last year, but she...
The world is not a dark and evil place. It is full of love and understanding and...
Oh God, why didn't anybody tell me?
My God is bigger than your statistics.
I hope she got paid for her quota because she hit it. If you're a slasher person, if you're a horror fan, it's really nice to see what Halloween has done. Good job, mainstream horror. Mainstream slashers probably will get a kick and then we'll get sick of them again and whatever. I eagerly anticipate what the success of this movie brings us. But no, other than that, I had a good time. I really did. There's things about Friday the 13th that are terrible, but I have a good time. I'll say the same for Halloween 2018. If you saw my ranking video for the Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th franchise, you saw that I was quite fond of Halloween 2018. It's in the top half of those franchises. So, without spoiling much, I think it's even top third. But yeah, we're not talking about Halloween all video. Let's go. Maybe Damien Chazelle is getting a little too much credit, and maybe, again, there's these factors. If I go into a movie with nothing, it's so much easier for me to enjoy or not enjoy a movie. I had so much pressure on this movie going into it that perhaps that's why it's low. I know a lot of people that quite enjoy it. I was a little turned off by the fact that it was so focused on the story of the man and not we don't really have a story about the moon landing. I mean, Apollo 13 isn't. That's a really great space movie that for that period, but it's not about Neil Armstrong. It's not about the moon landing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but we don't really have that dominant moon landing film. And I expected this to be that, and it was more a story of the man, which, listen, it's good. I was wanting / expecting something else. When I look through this list, I think, man, you're gonna get some flack in this portion. The Predator. I think it's quite meta. I think it's quite funny. Is it a little too funny for an action movie? That's not for me to decide. That's for everybody else that would probably put this in their bottom third. They come right out and say it. They know, or at least Shane Black knows, we're not the original Predator. What the problem is with the humor? It was a little too much, probably. Was I on board for it? Absolutely. Was the third act a little mishmashed? Sure. An action movie that had me laughing and engaged throughout the film. I quite enjoyed it. 4 stars for me. 4 stars, The Predator. Fight me. 25, Red Sparrow. This is another movie that didn't care about and saw it late. Thank you. How did I end up seeing this? Lewis, Blu-ray Madness, had a copy shipped to my house, and I ended up being able to use his copy to see, and I was thoroughly impressed. This is the Den of Thieves mentality. You get further away from a early year release, and you don't have any expectations on it. You get pleasantly surprised. And Red Sparrow, is it anything? I remember I kept calling it salt. It's salt. It's salt. It's salt, because I was going off the trailers. It's not really salt. It's sort of salt. It's a. She starts off. Can I? Is that spoilers? No. No. It's more of a. It's not a true action movie. It's more of an espionage thriller. And how is Joel Edgerton getting in fucking everything? By the way, fucking guy is in a movie every 2 months, and I don't know he's in it until I'm starting to see it, and then there he is, Joel Edgerton. Good time. Really good time. Folks who are fans of Jennifer Lawrence and her physique will have other reasons to enjoy this movie. That might have helped by about 3 or 4 spots, at least for me. 24, Hotel Artemis. Well, this is such a quirky movie, and I enjoy stuff like this that is just a little out there. This is something that it feels to me like it's in the same universe as, was it Repo Men with Jude Law? It just feels like it's the same universe, even though it's not. It really isn't. It's just hotel run by Jodie Foster. It's not really a hotel. It fronts as a hotel, but it's a hospital for criminals. And the dude who happens to be the fuckface in The Predator pissed off the wrong people. Spoiler, it's and he needs, while he's being chased from the outside, he's gonna get fucked from the inside. I don't know anything else I could tell you about this. It kind of flew under the radar, but it's out on home media now. Check it out, or at least look at the trailer and see how you feel about it. It's quite good. Hey, Aquaman. Yes, I like Aquaman more than Black Panther. I said it. I'm not a Marvel guy, I'm not a DC guy, but fucking, this movie had fun, and it knew that it wasn't to be taken seriously. It's a little CGI heavy, sure. Right off the bat, fucking, I'll say what I thought in the first two scenes. There's two scenes that felt to me like other movies, scenes from other movies. Good for you, DC. Good for you. The one movie that nobody had any sort of hope and or expectation on, and the one that you would figure should have failed, doing just fine, good story, had fun. James Wan, good for you. Represent that horror upbringing and show off your stuff. A little CGI heavy at times, but I had fun. I had fun. That's all I can ask for from stuff like this. And I'm tired. I'm tired of superhero movies. So what does that tell you? 22, A Star is Born. Wanted to hate it, and didn't, and quite enjoyed it. It's good for everything that everybody's talking about. It being good, it is. I give more gripes here the higher I get than I do praise. I don't know why I do that, but a gripe that I have with The Star is Born is Bradley Cooper's character. There's no real arc to him. He starts off the movie drunk, and for all intents and purposes, he pretty much ends the movie drunk. And I feel like they lean into what they're trying to go against, but it's a good time. I'd rather watch The Rose with Bette Midler for a similar type story, but I wanted to hate it and didn't, and it was quite an enjoyable time. Lastly, but not leastly, Unsane, fucking psychological thriller that really fucks with you. Technically, I guess it's a stalker movie too. However, it's a movie that certainly gets under your skin for all the right reasons and for what it's trying to do. And it has you second guessing things because there's a question of our lead actor's mental state and mental health and capability. And it has you as an audience member second guessing if we're being fucked with. I guess it reassures you in your doubts in the film, and it's so hard to do this without spoiling it. Listen, we're at 21. We're just outside my top 20. Although in this bracket, there's at least three movies if you count Black Panther, where I can understand somebody saying your opinion is absolute dog shit. Whatever you say means nothing. But I don't contest that. Nobody's opinion is worth more than their own. Yeah, there's 21. Aren't you excited for my top 20 now? All right, so that does it here, 40 to 21. Hey, be engaging. I know there's like 8 of you that tell me behind the scenes that you're waiting for more, but the section down below, so barren. Engage me on some of this shit. Be sure to click that subscribe and bell, that combination, to be notified of the next 2, the 20 to 11 and the top 10 of 2018, which these all should be done by the Oscars. So there's that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. And I hope I still have your attention after this bracket. Yeah, so without further ado, damn it. Have a day.
Nope. Thank you.